G'day guys, Chris here from the Archer's Aim. We're set up today in my indoor range up at Beechworth and Mayday Hills, and we're going to be taking you through how to French tune your bow. This is a modified French tuning. This is a method of center shotting your rest. It's a really good idea to do this if you've just picked up a new compound bow, because a lot of the factory settings will be close but not spot on. And this way you can achieve fantastic results from your new rig by just a couple of simple steps. So we're going to take you through how to do that today. The first thing that you're going to need is a plumb line. So just a bit of string or rope, something that's relatively thin, probably no thicker than your pinky, ideally a little bit smaller. Now this is used for your target. This is what you will be shooting at. So once you've got that, set it up with a little weight at the end. I just tie a bolt or a nut onto my plumb line so it holds it nice and tight down the bottom, and then put it on my target butt. Now this is my plumb line I've got here. This is just a bit of string that we've got tied up. So that's all you need. That's your first step. And then you'll need your bow and your arrows. You're only going to be firing one arrow at a time, so you don't need too many. Just one nice arrow. Now that we've got our plumb line set up and we've got our one selected arrow, there is a few things that we need to run through to make sure that this is going to work for you. The first thing you need to be aware of is that the spine of your arrow needs to match your bow. Otherwise you will not get consistent good results from this tuning method. Make sure that its active spine and its static spine are matched for your bow. That's the first step. The second one is your form. Your form needs to be relatively good to do this. It doesn't need to be 100% perfect, but you will achieve better results the better you shoot. So make sure that that is close to as spot on as possible. These two things, if they are wrong, will throw your results out. The next step, once you've got your spine matched arrow and you're sure that your form's spotted on and you've set your plumb line up, is to set yourself up about 3 meters away from that target butt. The idea here is to actually aim and hit the string. Once you fire your first shot, you'll see if your arrow impacts left or right. And just like as if you were sighting in your bow, you want to move your sight towards the arrow. You keep doing this one arrow at a time until your arrow hits the string. Something like this. Once you fire your first few shots, you should see where your arrows are impacting in somewhat of a pattern. My pattern seems to be hitting just a little bit off and to the left-hand side, and that's fine. All we have to do is move my sight just a little bit to the left until my arrow comes across and impacts the string. So my sight down here, I would move it to the left, over there. After the first couple of rounds of moving your sight, eventually you will come into the point where your arrow is impacting on the string at a very regular interval, so long as your form is correct. Once this happens, you want to stop, take a short break so your muscles can recover, and then step back to 8 meters. At 8 meters, we're going to do exactly the same process, but instead of moving our sight, this time we're going to be moving our rest. So shoot your next arrow and watch where the arrows impact. If the arrow is hit off to the left-hand side, this time we're going to be moving the rest in the opposite direction to the impacts. So if it hits left, you're going to move it a little bit right. I should point out that your rest is a very sensitive part of your bow's equipment, and a small change in your rest can make a big change to where the arrows impact and how they impact. So easy and steady as it goes, and just take little increments at a time. So this is the next stage, shooting and then moving our rest. Right, let's show you that arrow. So this arrow has impacted just a little bit off to the right hand side. This means I should move my rest to the left. Now, on most people's bows, get the camera around the right way. On most people's bows you will see increment markings on most parts of your equipment, especially if you're buying anything with half decent quality. So you can see the increment markings up here and the increment markings down here. Now these are set in 1mm increments. For my rest, I will literally be moving that a tiny amount. It's only going to be moved, say, about 0.5 mm to 0.75 mm off to the left hand side to adjust for my right hand impact. Now this is only to be done at 8 meters. So we step back to 8 meters and adjust our rest second. Now there are a few great reasons for actually doing modified French tuning. For me personally as a hunter, the first thing that comes to my mind is broadhead tuning. Now broadhead tuning is a combination of a few different things, but I found by just doing the modified French tuning, I can get my broadheads and field tips to land together. It's that simple. So long as your arrow spine's matched to your bow, your form's on point, and you do this modified French tuning, I've never had an arrow that didn't land right next to my field point. The next thing is, when you're dealing with center shot, you'll find that you can get left and right impact. So if your bow's out, bow's rest is out, the arrows impacting the target won't go in pin straight, they'll come in on an angle. And that's not ideal. It also makes it very hard to obtain groups. So by doing this simple method and getting the center shot set in your bow properly, you can achieve a lot greater accuracy from your bow. And it's something that's worth doing, especially if you've just picked up a new bow or even just put on a new rest. It's something that a lot of archers, especially if you're just starting out, might not think about. So give it a shot. It will only take maybe about 20 minutes of your time, and it has great results. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy it, and pop up to the range and say g'day one time. Alright guys, we'll catch you next time.